Good morning from Hayden, Idaho. We drove up here last night with the Western Star and the low bed to go pick up the new BV206 I just bought, which I thought was really cool until this setup showed up. This is a fire crew. That's a fire engine that can go pretty much anywhere. That is one cool freaking setup. I mean, this is all right too, but dang. Anyway, yeah, as you saw from the thumbnail and the title of this video, I have bought a Hagglunds BV206. And we're heading up to pick it up in Montana. I drove up here to Hayden, Idaho last night, stayed at this little miniature truck stop here. Really nice, really good little store over there that's got some good food. Got my breakfast here ready to go. We're gonna get rolling. We're 4 hours away from where the BV206 is sitting. Get it loaded up here and then get it back to Oregon and check this thing out. So we're heading up the panhandle of Idaho, straight north right now. We're gonna go up to Bonners Ferry, Idaho, and then we're gonna head to the east into Montana, wind through Montana a little bit, end up in Eureka, Montana, which is very, very close to the Canadian border where I'm not so welcome, and then turn south and head down into the north end of Whitefish, Montana. And just so that we're all on the same page here, I have never seen this particular Hagglunds 206 in person before, and I've actually never seen any Hagglunds 206 in person before. I've always thought they were super cool machines. There's a Facebook group I've been part of for a couple of years. It's a Hagglunds group. Why I've been part of it, I don't know. I just thought they were cool. And this one here, we were actually on vacation up in Washington, and I spotted it on Facebook Marketplace. It was a really good deal. Someone was gonna scoop this thing up and do it quick, and I wanted it to be me. So the only real option I had was to send the money and pay for it on the spot while we were on vacation in Washington, long before I've ever seen the thing, and hope for the best. So that's what we're doing. So we finished up our vacation. I sent a lot of money away to someone I don't know off the Facebook Marketplace ad. Not the smartest move in the world. Hopefully that works out. Then we finished our vacation. We went back home. I slept for the night in my bed. The very next morning, hopped in the Western Star, and off we go to see how bad I screwed up or how big I scored. So we're all gonna find out together. Hey, we're just north of Sandpoint, Idaho, and it is absolutely beautiful up here. I really, really like this area. It's very nice. And for some of those who might be wondering, I've asked in a couple previous videos, yes, the AC in the Western Star is working great. I took it to McCauley's Truck Center, and just look at the views out here. Anyway, I took it to McCauley's Truck Center there in Bend, Oregon, and they got the AC system rebuilt. Robbie Layton was correct in his hypothesis that it was probably the expansion valve or the compressor. It turned out to be both. What they're thinking is the expansion valve probably went out, and then still trying to run the AC with the expansion valve locked up, burned up the compressor. So got both of those replaced, got everything recharged, working good, and yeah, now I have really good AC. So thank you, Cody. Works great. This area is really nice. I would not mind spending some time up here if I had the time. Should work on that. All right, we are in Bonners Ferry, Idaho. Oh, that's why the scales are closed. They're rebuilding it. Cool. We're in Bonners Ferry, Idaho right now. Just made our turn to the east, and then we are continuing down into Montana. I really like this whole panhandle stretch of Idaho. It is really nice up here. So, off we go. I don't remember what I was going to say, but I was going to say something that was going to be profound, I'm sure. Either way, I'm going to keep enjoying this view. We've got about 2.5 hours to go to see if this thing that I bought actually exists or if I got scammed. Well, that's a cool bridge. All of a sudden I was just way up in the air. I need to explore this area a lot more. So we made it into Montana, a little smoky, but really nice in here. We just went through Troy, Montana, And now we're gonna wind kind of down and then up to the north up to Eureka, where we make our turn back to the south and go find our Hagglund. Beautiful river, really narrow road. They don't give you a lot of room here. Eureka, Montana. There's a stop sign right here, and if we turn left, right over there is the Canadian border. And I don't feel like getting detained today, but I do feel like picking up a Hagglund, so we're gonna turn right and go that way instead. Good news, the Hagglund really exists. I didn't get scammed, and I am incredibly happy with what I just bought. This is a Hagglund BV206, and that there is not a trailer. That is actually part of the unit. Those tracks drive just the same as these do. This whole coupler assembly here has a drive shaft that runs through it. This is one drive axle here. That's the other drive axle up there. The whole thing is powered with all 4 tracks. And one of the big advantages to that Hagglund design, kind of the same as why the Tuckers make such good like utility work cats and pull so good, as opposed to like the snow park ski slope cats, is they don't take power away from one of the tracks in order to steer. This does not steer by stopping a track and turning like a dozer and excavator does. It actually doesn't even have the capability to do that. It steers by bending in the middle with this hydraulic ram right here and this one right here. So all the tracks are always powered, and it turns the whole unit here in order to steer it. Now what that means is if you're trying to climb a steep hill, or in my case, pull someone and drag a vehicle off that hitch on the back there, and you need to make a corner, in any of the 2-track style of cats, you have to take away power from one of your tracks, which means you're losing 50% of your power and your traction in order to steer. The Hagglunds, much like the Tuckers, keep power going to all 4 tracks the whole time, even through a turn. So with like a park style cat, same thing with a dozer, excavator, like a dozer. I know a lot of people run dozers and snowcats. So think of on a dozer, you're in a heavy push. You're pushing about all that thing can push before it breaks traction. What's the one thing you don't do? Try to turn, because when you take power away from one track, you're done. So with those ones, when you get into deep snow or you're trying to climb a big hill, you got to go through something or up, you want to get yourself pretty well lined up before you start to go through it, and then just go straight the whole time so you have all your power and all your traction. The Hagglund here, just like Tuckers, they have all that power and traction even throughout a turn. So you can turn and maneuver and do whatever you need to do while you're either pulling something or trying to push through something deep or anything like that. Very, very cool design. I do need to completely rework this whole setup to mount a winch right here. And I'm kind of almost halfway thinking mounting 2 12,000-pound winches side by side right there in front. I don't know if I do that or just do one. We'll see. Another thing about the Hagglund is all of its bogie wheels, not the drive sprocket obviously, but all of those wheels, including the back one, are all on suspension. These are torsion suspension, just like a torsion trailer axle, both inside and out. And I know some of these wheels look a little chewed up, but that's okay. I'm going to show you why in a minute. The tracks look great, which is the important thing. But having all that suspension on all your wheels, plus it being able to articulate and move in the middle, this here is a shock absorber that cushions that pitching movement of it. It's got great sprockets on it. That wheel I might want to change. This you can run for a good bit, it's fine. But yeah, this one here, it looks like, and this one here, I'm going to want to change. But that's okay, because when you open up the back unit here, I got a whole bunch of new road wheels for it with brand new rubber pressed on. There's one used one there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brand new ones. That's the original wiring harness out of it. This was originally a 24 volt unit. Now it's all been converted to 12 along with another conversion I'll show you just a minute, and this is kind of a clue to what that conversion is. These are filler neck filters for in the 2 fuel tanks. I should probably put those back in. But back here you have seating for 11 people. 5 down each side is what it's rated for. And you notice that little tube right there in the front? That's because inside of that, I think that's where it is a bilge pump that pumps water out of here in case water gets into it, back out the outside. And the reason it needs to do that is because Hagglunds are amphibious. See, this whole unit is fiberglass, and both of them are basically a big boat. So in both the back half and the front half, there are bilge pumps, so you can take this thing in the water. I think it does 3 miles an hour across the water. And this whole window here opens up this way, out the side, so you got that wide open. And then the window on the other side, not a window on the other side, there's a door, a man door on the other side here that opens up for getting in and out this way. But back to the back here, underneath the seat here, there's a heater, and this has coolant lines, or heater lines, which are coolant, plumbed all the way back to the unit, so you have a heater back here in this area as well. Now this is the cool part that I don't know if works or not, but I want to see. I believe that switch there sends a beeper to the front cab, so if people are riding back here and need to stop, they can signal you with like beep, 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 or whatever combination of beeps you choose. I don't know if that works, but it'd be super cool if it did. Now the Hagglund has 2 fuel tanks, one here, one over there. They both fill from the top. That big umbilical cord there is what runs the electrical to the back. And those there, I believe, are the 2 heater lines. I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll figure it out. This right here, transmission cooler. You see they got it stacked where it goes into one, out into the other, out into the other. Lots of transmission cooling. And in here, you've got the cabin of the thing. Now, the front part seats 6, the back part seats 11. This thing is rated for 17 people in total, but these 2 or 4 are gonna have to really like each other because they're gonna be sitting all legs intertwined here. And this is one of the cool parts right here. That is a gunner hatch. So that opens up. There's actually supposed to be another seat that bolts on right here and folds up and then folds down right here. So you can sit in that seat. You're sitting out the top and you could be a roof gunner up there. That's what that's for. I guess I can climb in here. So there is a good bit of room in the cab here. Cozy seating up front because the engine is right here in the middle. Heater works really good, as you can imagine, with that configuration. It drives with a steering wheel just like a car. Automatic transmission, gas pedal, brake, e-brake, same as a car. That steering wheel pivots it right down the middle. And under here is one of the big conversions this thing had done. These were built for the Swedish military originally. Then they got used by all kinds of other militaries all over the world. This one here would have originally had a Mercedes diesel engine in it. And the only clue that it was a diesel is back here in the fuel line system. There is this line here is a return line. Now the gas engine doesn't have a return line. The diesel would have had to have a return line. So this line being here means that this would originally been one of the Mercedes diesels. For now, this line here goes to the driver's side tank. This one here goes to the passenger side tank, and then there's a selector valve to switch which one you're using. I don't know why this is disconnected. We'll have to figure that out. Now back to, I said this would have originally been a diesel. The options these things had were, I guess I take my glasses off, I'm inside. The options these things had were the Mercedes diesel engine, and then a lot of them had a Ford 2.8 liter 4-cylinder or V6? I can't remember, I think 4-cylinder. Either way, it was a Ford industrial engine. This one here has been converted over to a Chrysler 318 V8 with a turbo 350 automatic transmission, then into the Hagglunds transfer case back there that goes between the 4 tracks. So this is a V8 Hagglund. And depending on the engine and transmission, these things have a top speed of about 30 miles an hour on land, which is freaking incredible. And I would imagine with the V8, it'll do that. Inside though, this thing is actually in some pretty good shape. I'm very, very happy with it. Like I said, heater works, lights work. We're gonna check and make sure all the exterior lights work and probably put some more LED, like floodlights on all the corners. Alternator system, it's got a selector for the alternator. Like what it's doing for some weird reason, I don't know, but it works. That switch there, I think is the bilge pump switch to turn on the bilge pump switch. Battery's there. Bilge pump is down there somewhere. This I thought was funny. Check this out. Cup holder. Under the seat, latched away, you do have a cup holder. So this is my new BV206. Like I said, I'm not sure whether I'll just be able to do one winch right there. It would be really cool to put two side by side so I can get a little more creative with the rigging. LED floodlights on all four corners of each half I think would be good. The back half has a big roof rack on it. And then in the rear, I want to kind of gut this whole system out, do a 12,000 pound winch, and then also a receiver underneath for like a pull point and, you know, Yankum rope pulling off the back. So that's enough of talking about the Hagglund for now. Also, I think that indentation right there in these straps are to put two jerry cans right there, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. But, like I said, enough of talking about this thing for now. We need to get it home. It also came with a spare track, so that's cool. And get this thing off the trailer and take it for a drive. So we are gonna head south and then east. I picked this thing up between Whitefish and Eureka, Montana, way up in northern Montana. I went up through the panhandle of Idaho, across the top of Montana, up by the border with Canada, and then dropped down in to get it. And to go back home, we're going south past Flathead Lake, down onto I-90, across through Coeur d'Alene and into Spokane, and then down through Washington home. Kind of making a big giant loop because it's 10 minutes difference either way, the northern route being the faster one, but on a 3-day trip, 10 minutes doesn't matter. And Montana is my favorite of all the states. I absolutely love being up here. So now that I got the excuse to be up here with the big truck and go truck it through Montana, I'm gonna do it in a big loop so I get to see more of it. Turn the AC back on. Now we're talking. All right, let's get rolling. Montana is just an incredible place. It's like driving through a postcard. Absolutely love it up here. Then we're getting some fuel here by the Silver Dollar truck stop gift shop thing, and I forgot to mention the most important part about the Hagglund that makes it so cool is this is not a snowcat. It's not a snow vehicle. This is an all-terrain, all-season vehicle. You can see it's an all-rubber track. It's made for snow, dirt, mud, sand, pavement, literally anywhere you want to drive it, including the water. That means this thing is a year-round vehicle for me. We're gonna loop around and go over to the thing. If you're gonna pull in front of truck stops, don't pull the opposite way with your trailer like angled out in front of the truck that has to make a left turn that way. I mean, I can get around him, but it's like, why you do that? We're good. It's the rocks. And we're gonna pull up into the thing over there. But yeah, this is an all-season, all-terrain vehicle, year-round recovery rig that you get a lot of use out of, not just the snow like my previous setups. That's kind of a big draw to the Hagglunds here. And if you're wondering why, speaking of we're at a truck stop, why I brought the Western Star in the low bed to haul this thing. Is it overkill? Yes, it is. Hey, there's a whole thing of brand new Western Stars going down the road. Yes, this is absolutely overkill. But this Hagglunds weighs somewhere between, ooh, we're gonna park next to the other military vehicle. Check this out. It weighs somewhere between 9,500, 10,000 pounds, in that range. My gooseneck trailer and my pickup can haul somewhere between 9,000 and 10,000 pounds. Now, will my gooseneck haul this? Yes, absolutely, no question about it. Will it haul it legally? It's gonna be right there, like right there. And I didn't want to find out that I was over the legal limit 700 miles from home. So we brought this. On top of that, this Western Star is, check this out. This Western Star is the most comfortable vehicle I own for long distance stuff. Has the sleeper on the back, all the things that make this the perfect road trip truck. So I would really rather drive this than my pickup on a long trip anyway. That's why. Let's go look at this thing. Man, just when I thought I had something cool, always got to get one up. This is a 10 by 10 rig. It's got basically a hook lift set up there. Kind of like a roll-off hook lift truck. I think Heavy D has one of those. the Hagglunds here. Chain's doing good. Yeah, that one doesn't float though, so neener. Actually, this one doesn't right now either because the drain plug isn't in the bottom of it. It's missing. I got to get a new fitting. It's just a piece of like pipe thread plug. That's easy, but looking good. But that's also pretty cool. Okay, let's go into the 50,000 silver dollar truck stop thing. If you're wondering why it's called 50,000 silver dollars, it's because there are 50,000 silver dollars in here on the walls. Actually, today it's 85,495 silver dollars on the wall. It's a lot. Figure get some lunch while we're here. Square patties. Okay, got some lunch. Got a gift from my daughter at the gift shop, and nobody stole my Hagglund, which is a good thing. So I weighed this truck and trailer empty on the way up here at the cat scale. That way I could weigh it loaded and see what the Hagglund weighs. So the first person to guess the empty weight of this truck and trailer, or the closest person to it, by the end of the first day this video is posted, gets a free t-shirt. And the first person to guess the weight of the Hagglund, or the closest person to it, by the end of the first day of this video, same thing. Also, you're guessing the weight of the track and the Hagglund, because that's how much weight is on the trailer. Also, you gotta be subscribed to be a winner. That's a rule, because I guess that's how you're supposed to say things, whatever. Okay, let's go. We have made it to the exact same truck stop that I empty weighed this setup on yesterday. It was on that cat scale right there, and I wanted to weigh on the exact same scale so we get an accurate weight on the Hagglund. What I was gonna do was top off on fuel and spin around and weigh it, because when I was empty I topped off on fuel and spun around and weighed it. But as I was pulling in here to get fuel, I saw this guy backing into this spot, and I saw this spot empty. So I skipped all that and I snagged this spot, because this is like the only safe spot in the truck stop where no one's gonna pull out next to me and make a turn and take my front end with them, like every one of those and all of those and all of those is risking doing. Also, since that guy just backed in as I was pulling around the corner there, that means he's got to sit here for 10 hours, just like I got to sit here for 10 hours. Since I'm going to leave as soon as my 10 hours are up, that means there's a very low chance of him leaving and another truck backing in and hitting me in the middle of the night. It's also good here, there's a big long straight stretch to pull up and back in, so no one's trying to 90 and jackknife in, if that happens. Because a lot of you ask if I'm bound by the hours of service regulations. Yes, I am. I've got like 30 minutes left on my DOT clock as far as driving hours today. We're here in Ritzville or Ritzfield or Ritz something, Washington. I'm not gonna make it to anywhere else on those 30 minutes, so we're gonna stay the night here. I normally would prefer to stay on the side of the road somewhere so that I'm not around a bunch of trucks and stuff risking backing into my truck, but since I was able to snag this spot, I'll go ahead and stay here for the night. Either way, like I said, first thing in the morning, we're gonna top off on fuel, weigh all this, and then we'll know what the Hagglund's track weighs, see who 2 different people win some free t-shirts, and then after that, the next thing you will see is the Hagglund at home getting unloaded off the trailer. I got dark, because I'm not gonna waste any more of your time with driving, messing around footage. We're just gonna get straight home and get to the good stuff, unless something crazy happens, something cool happens, something funny happens, or something disastrous happens. Then you'll see that instead. I guess something disastrously funny would kind of be the ultimate. And if that happens, you'll see it. If not, we'll be home. So, in about 10 seconds, you're gonna see this truck on that scale. No, 5 seconds, no. 2, right now. We are pulling onto the scale here the next morning, full fuel tanks, exact same scale, exact same setup as we were when we weighed earlier here, or not yesterday, now it's 2 days ago, whatever it is. All right, let's get on the correct pads, confirm our scale, get our weights here. This is BV 206. Next, I accept your $14 fee. Starting weights, verifying information. we got park, reverse, and then 4 neutrals.
Nah, lovely.
Okay, test drive over. We're stuck.
It's got a kill switch for
I don't know. It's
that much of a angle. You went over before, all right.
I don't think it's that. For some reason, it's got reverse gear, but not forward gear. Wonder if it's low on fluid and sucking air.
You almost had it. If you get up there far enough to,
It's almost back off of it.
yeah. Something else.
I'm guessing.
You're right. I bet the transmission is low.
I bet it's transmission fluid because when it points nose down, it's not wanting to engage in forward.
Yeah. As soon as you got it down, it took off.
Yeah. Once it leveled out, it's fine. And then when I got right here and nosed it down on that again, it started like I had to rev it up again to get it to kick into forward and go.
I think you're right. I'll bet it is low.
Transmission
Because
fluid's
we're
low.
sitting on.
We can fix that.
I think going to be snow recoveries like you wouldn't believe.
It could start
If we
snowing.
get snow.
Yeah, I could start snowing tomorrow. I'd be
But
fine with
the
that.
nice thing is it's got a hitch on the back. You can take the trailer.
And it's technically not a snowcat. It's an all-terrain vehicle,
Right.
so we can use it all year round.
So some of these gravel roads you have to go down, this might be better than,
Yeah, better than the tracked vehicles.
so if you take that trailer and put a wheel lift on it.
Make a car dolly out of it. A tracked car dolly.
Hi buddy. Hi. What do you think of that cat, huh?
We're going to have to throw the EcoFlow in here for air conditioning though.
What's that?
We'll have to throw the EcoFlow in here for air conditioning.
Yeah,
though.
you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Well, you got escape hatches though.
2 of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they work, but there's 2 of them. So that's that. That's the Hagglund. It's home. It runs. We got a few things to figure out, a few things to check over, but it runs and drives. I just think it was sucking air in the transmission when I was nose down like that. Is most likely the problem. But either way, very, very good trip to Montana. It's probably my favorite of all the states. Truck was flawless, trailer was flawless, and it looks so good going down the road now that David painted it.
Yep.
And that's all that matters, right? Either way, we're gonna have some fun with this thing. I will announce the winners of the weight contest in a community post the day after this video posts, because I'll do that at the end of the first day the video posts. So make sure you put your guesses down below and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that post and so that you're eligible to win. We're doing the whole subscribe thing now.
All right.
Yeah, giving it a shot.
Where are we going? 500?
Is that what we're gonna hit next?
Yeah.
Okay, 500,000, you heard him.